I smell bananas.
It's been almost 1 month since Donkey Kong Bananza released for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now personally, this was a highly anticipated game for me, and luckily, it did not disappoint. For those who haven't been able to get their hands on the game yet, or just haven't completed it yet, I'll be sure not to spoil anything past the forest layer, which is slightly less than what Nintendo showed in its trailers for the game. Now, without further ado, let's get into the build-up for the game. On April 2nd, 2025, Nintendo hosted a Switch 2 Direct where they revealed several details and games for the system. After an hour of new info, Nintendo said that they had one more trailer to show us, and they revealed Donkey Kong Bananza. The trailer was amazing, showing off the terrain-destroying mechanic, several interesting areas to explore, and a companion for Donkey Kong, Odd Rock. At this point, rumors had been spreading for a while that the Super Mario Odyssey team was developing a Donkey Kong game, so it was apparent pretty quickly that this was the result of that, which only served to make people more excited for the game. This game was interesting for a few other reasons though. For one, in a world of $80 Mario Kart, this game was being priced at $70. Although $70 is an increase from the mostly $60 games of the Switch 1 generation, it was somewhat of a relief to see that Nintendo was not increasing every single game by $20, even though $70 is still expensive. Another reason this was interesting was the fact that it defined a new look for Donkey Kong. Although we'd seen this look before in the Super Mario Bros. Movie and in Mario Kart World, the designers behind Bonanza confirmed that all these appearances were based on his redesigned look for the game, as it has been in development since 2017. Personally, I was very opposed to this new look when it was shown in a Mario Kart clip in the Switch 2 First Look trailer, but by the time this Nintendo Direct came out, it had grown on me, and I honestly prefer his more expressive face, as I feel like it fits in better with the rest of the Mario world. I remember as a little kid being terrified of how scary Donkey Kong looked compared to the Mario cast, although that may be because I was a literal big baby. After the Switch 2 released in early June, a Bonanza-centric Direct was announced for June 18th, just a month before the game was released in July. This Direct started off with a bang, immediately showing that the Odd Rock character was hiding a different character, Pauline. I heard that this was leaked before somewhere, but I didn't hear about it until after the Direct, so I was completely surprised watching it. I just thought it was insane the lengths they went in order to hide it from us. They made fake box art with Odd Rock on it, which I'm actually more used to seeing, and it makes me think that the actual box art looks fake. They changed the game in order to get footage of Donkey Kong running without Pauline. And on the Nintendo Today app, they had articles about Odd Rock, as if he were a new character to be added to the franchise permanently. This Direct also served to showcase much more of the game than what had been previously revealed, which made me think that this game looked incredible. After seeing the initial trailer, I was definitely excited for the game, but in the back of my mind I was disappointed that there was no new Mario game shown off. After this Direct though, I was genuinely thrilled to play this game. I originally just planned on picking the game up from a store on launch day, but the Direct made me scared that it was going to be sold out, so I ended up pre-ordering it. One day before the game's official launch, gaming publications started posting reviews on the game. 10 out of 10s were thrown out across the board, got a 91 on Metacritic, and it was seemingly impossible to find a negative review of the game. While I'd been excited to play Mario Kart World when it came out, my Switch 2 was starting to gather a bit of dust after only a month and a half of releasing, so seeing how highly regarded Bonanza was got me insanely excited to play it, so I was only a little mad when they delivered it a day after release. Donkey Kong Bonanza released on July 17, 2025, and, in my opinion, it deserves the high praise it's gotten. The game starts with Donkey Kong mining for bananas, teaching the player how they can break the environment and also what the objective is, to collect bananas, or Bananium gems. While searching for bananas, Void Company, led by the evil Void Kong, traps you underground and begins stealing bananas. While exploring, you find Odd Rock, who is eventually revealed to be Pauline. Your objective is simple. At the center of the planet is something which grants wishes. Donkey Kong just wants bananas, while Pauline wants to find a way back to the surface. For each layer, you must overcome the obstacles and find your way deeper into the planet. For a plot in the Mario universe, it's honestly one of the deeper stories, but that's not saying much. And you could also ignore the plot and fully enjoy the game. None of that matters though if the game isn't fun to play. The movement in this game feels perfect, and you can definitely tell this is made by the Mario Odyssey team based on that alone. Moving around and exploring the world feels so easy and effortless. By the time you're a few hours in, you start feeling like Carl and wondering if you're more monkey than man. Well, this isn't helping my case. Just jumping off from high places, it feels so fluid, rolling, jumping, then rolling again, before punching out in front of you just to get that extra little bit of distance before hitting the ground. There is one issue I had, and it may just be a me thing, but when you tear off a piece of the ground and then turf surf it, I just never felt like the physics and controls worked for me. You don't damage anything unless you click to speed up, but I just feel like the chunk of terrain is spinning too quickly to not damage the surroundings in my mind, and also that you don't move fast enough when you click to speed up for me. It just always felt a little awkward to me. But it's far from necessary 95% of the time, and it's plenty usable the other 5% of the time. Plus, there's a good chance it's just me being weird, so I'm not sure about that. Don't let that deceive you though. This is a well-made game that controls like a dream. Plus, the different bonanzas in the game, basically transformations you can use when your Bananza is full, allow you to gain certain abilities, like fluttering or running quickly, which are a lot of fun. As for collectibles, this game has no shortage of them. The terrain is littered with gold for you to collect or use as an explosive, and more gold appears as you destroy the ground. This is useful for buying things in the stuff shop, paying construction crews, or filling your Bananza meter. Additionally, there are red balloons, which save you from a fall, apple juice, which refills your health bar when you lose all of your health, and melon juice, which allows you to use bonanzas when your Bananza isn't full yet, which can be found in treasure chests or bought from the stuff shop. I only really used melon juice once or twice in my whole playthrough, but the balloons and apple juice were lifesavers numerous times. In the same way that you search for moons in Mario Odyssey, in this game, you're searching for Bananza gems. I much prefer the way this game handles it though. For one, you have a sonar ability that allows you to detect nearby goodies. Plus, every 5 Bananza gems you collect nets you a skill point, which can be used to improve Donkey Kong's moveset or increase the number of hearts you have, among other things. While exploring, you'll also come across fossils. These are used in the style shop, where you can buy all kinds of outfits for your Kong and his sidekick. Finally, there are Bananza chips, which are mainly just used to buy Bananza gems at the chip exchange on each layer. In my opinion, these are mostly useless, as you don't need a huge collection in order to buy a banana from each layer, and aside from a very late game use for them, that is all they're good for. I feel like they could have easily been set to the wayside and their functionality could have been replaced with the regular gold, no problem. But whatever, they're inoffensive. This game looks fantastic in my opinion. The levels get wackier the further down you go, and I think that the art style is just amazing. Plus, this box art has always stood out to me as just looking awesome. I love how they use colors that call back to the original Donkey Kong. The music in this game is also a strong point. It's a mix of old remixes and new music, and I love it. Now, as for problems people seem to have with the game, one big thing is performance. I originally played this game in handheld mode exclusively, and I never noticed any issues, but the moment I docked it, I could see lag spikes fairly often. I don't know if it runs better in handheld or I just didn't notice the performance issues, but still. This game definitely has frame drops. I'd even say they happen pretty often, although it's never unexpected. The game only ever really lags when there's a ton of materials it needs to load, which makes sense. It's just that the game is centered around destroying everything and sending gold spraying everywhere, so you can definitely see the console struggling at times. Another thing that people brought up was that this game is just a Switch 1 game, after it was revealed that this game and Mario Kart World were originally in development for the first Switch. I just think this is such a stupid thing to be complaining about, like, yeah, this game started development in 2017. And I'm sure Nintendo did not have a plan finalized for the Switch 2 8 years in advance, so of course they would be developing games for the original Switch. Plus, starting development on that platform doesn't mean anything for the end result. Nintendo even showed a comparison of what the game would have been like on Switch 1 compared to the final release, and they were able to cram so much more detail in because of the jump to the newer console. Plus, with the performance issues this game already has, I'm sure it would not have run well whatsoever on the Switch 1. The final thing I've heard complaints about is the boss fights in this game, which I agree with. Every single boss fight starts with an awesome intro and cool music, but then a majority of them are just hit this thing repeatedly, or throw this at the boss and then punch it, and end in less than 5 minutes. It would have been so much cooler if they were more difficult or had more phases so it wasn't as repetitive. Donkey Kong Bananza does have other modes to play. One of these is co-op multiplayer, where one person controls Pauline's voice with the Switch 2 mouse controls, which, after testing out with my siblings, seems to just become chaos immediately. Then, there's the DK Artist mode, which feels a little finicky and out of place, but can definitely be fun if you're motivated to sculpt something. Although, there's only one song that plays in the background of this mode, and it honestly would have been so much cooler if you could just play any song from the game. That's all I have to say about Donkey Kong Bananza right now, but I truly think it deserves a 10 out of 10 score, and it is at least the best game exclusive to the Switch 2 at the moment, in my opinion. But what do you think about this game? Let me know, and let me know what you think about this video. But for now, see you later.